and also colorful virtual tours. So I was doing a little bit of research, and I've been seeing a lot of questions of on the internet from a couple different sources of how do I get started in real estate photography. So I thought I'd make a short video for you, make it short and sweet for you. So a little bit of background on myself. I started in photography my senior year in high school. And the reason I took a photography class in high school was because I had all these study halls and I didn't want to sit in study hall. So I decided, let's take photography, keep myself busy. That's how everything started for me. Was on the yearbook and had a lot of fun. This is back in the film days. We used to roll film, being in the dark room, and it was a great time. What I did was that first year going to college, I got a job as a ski photographer. I was one of the people that were on top of the mountain at the top of the chairlift. People would come off the chairlift and I would greet them and do portraits of them. At the end of the day, we would sell those portraits to them. And that was my very first job as a photographer. And this was in upstate New York. That particular company owned Colorado Whitewater Rafting Photography, which is how I got to Colorado. That was in 1986. And I've been here since 1986, spent most of my life earning my income with a camera, which has been fantastic. I pinch myself sometimes, like, I can't believe I still earn a living with a camera. It's awesome. I've done ski photography, rafting photography, car photography, wedding photography, portraits, pets, fashion, fill in the blank, maternity, the whole 9 yards. And it's been a lot of fun, and there's been a lot of challenges as well. So working as a photographer for a lot of different people for many years. Then I had some odd jobs here and there where I took a break. It was after my son was born. And then I moved back into photography and really took it seriously in 2008 when I started a portrait business out of my home. Actually, I'll back up for a second. Prior to starting the portrait business in 2008, I did work as a realtor because at that time, there's a lot of my friends working in the real estate industry. And I just was chasing the mighty dollar because I was tired of being poor all the time. Yes, I did really well, but it wasn't for me. They say when you do something for the money, you're not going to be happy. And that is a very, very true statement. So it was good because in the big picture of things, I learned the real estate industry. So as a real estate photographer, I can bring a lot to the table to realtors and really understand more than a lot of other photographers. And that is one of the things that I do teach in my mentorship program is about the real estate industry. So you can go out, understand the verbiage that they're looking for, understand what they're looking for, so you can set yourself apart from the competition that's out there. So started that portrait studio in 2008, did that for about 10 years, and I got burnt out because I never left my home. I spent most of my time sitting behind my computer editing, not using my camera. Yes, I photographed a lot of sessions, but there was so much time spent behind my computer. And that was one of the reasons that burnt me out because I don't like sitting behind my computer. I would rather be out photographing people, houses, whatever. I want to be behind my camera. That's what a photographer is supposed to do, not supposed to be sitting behind your computer all the time. So I decided to move into real estate photography, and it was during a time that was pretty challenging in my life. But I had to learn how to pull the bootstraps up. I had to learn how to deal with the depression and the anxiety I was going through and build that business. So if you're starting from a place that's really challenging, I understand. I really do understand how difficult it can be. Starting a business is difficult, period. Starting it from a place where you're having some mental, I would say not mental issues. I guess they are kind of mental issues. If you're dealing with depression or anxiety, that's challenging on top of everything else. So I do get it. So that just briefly, 5 years doing real estate photography, 4,500 properties in the last 5 years, not working late nights, not working weekends, not sitting endless hours behind my computer screen, super happy. I take a lot of 3-day weekends. I take a lot of vacations. My real estate photography business pretty much pays for everything. And I'm happy as F. It's pretty awesome. So I'm here to help you, to teach you, to shorten that learning curve, maybe revitalize the desire that you have about photography, the passion of photography. Sometimes you can get burnt out. So I'm hoping I can do that for you. So maybe you're brand new and you're like, hey, I want to get into real estate photography. Or maybe you're a photographer already in a different industry. I'd like to shed some light. A lot of this stuff you'll understand, but this is the basis of real estate photography. Yes, even though I had a lot of experience in photography, when I moved into real estate photography, there was definitely a learning curve because it's completely different. It's more of a people business than anything else. But yes, photographing it, uh, there is a specific way to do it. And then once you get it, it's like clockwork. It's real simple. Anyway, so how to start real estate photography? Of course, you need to learn the basics, especially for those of you that are brand new, maybe looking into photography. You need to learn the basics of your camera, right? You need to learn exposures, composition, white balance, all of that. That's really important when it comes to any type of photography. What I can tell you in real estate photography is that once you have the settings will never change. Never, unless you're going to do a twilight shoot. Otherwise, indoor, outdoor, they're all the same. You're never going to change them. So that's what's great about real estate photography. You can learn it really fast because your camera is going to be set up. You just have to learn how to compose the image. That's going to be the biggest challenge, and that's really not that challenging. So you have to learn the basics. You have to have the right equipment. Uh, if you don't have a whole lot of money, you can get into real estate photography using a crop sensor camera. Now, a crop sensor camera means it has a smaller sensor, and the most important thing for you is that it's not going to cost you as much money to get a crop sensor camera. Eventually, you don't have to, you may want to upgrade your equipment to a full frame camera, which is going to give you higher quality images in the big picture of things. But really, this is real estate photography, not architectural photography. Two totally different ball games. Real estate photography really is about getting an MLS, helping that seller sell that property as fast as possible. In real estate photography, there's so much more opportunity when you first start off than if you're going to do architectural photography. If you wanted to move into architectural photography, which is going to be more higher end properties for magazine shoots, things like that. But real estate photography, that's my bread and butter, baby. It is all day, nonstop. And once you establish yourself, that's what's great about real estate photography. You can have one client and then they can give you 30 properties within the year, which is amazing. So basic camera, crop sensor, and then for a crop sensor camera, since it's a smaller sensor, you need to use a different lens, a 10 to 17 millimeter lens, and then a sturdy tripod. That's really all you need to get started. That's what I started with. That's it. I had a crop sensor, I had a 10 millimeter lens, and then I got a cheap tripod. It was one of those really heavy ones. I mean, it was super heavy, but it worked. It got me started. So really, that's all you need to get started. Of course, as your business earns more income, you take that income, the profits, and reinvest it into your business to start getting some other accessories, things to make your life easier, things to make your life faster. So you can do more and you can earn more and do it in less time. But that's all you need to get started. Okay. Um, the other thing is the next thing would be is understanding the real estate industry. Yes, there's quite a bit to learn about the real estate industry, but what I teach is a lot of basic stuff, a lot of things that what realtors want to hear. So if you can speak the language of what realtors want to hear, that is going to set you apart from your competition. So, for example, when you talk to a realtor and you say to them, hey, I photograph homes with the buyer in mind so I can show them how rooms flow from one to another so we can tell the story of how that property looks to the buyer. That is going to perk up the ears of a realtor to go, oh, this photographer understands what I'm looking for. That is the basic thing that you need to know about the real estate industry. Yes, there's a lot of other little things, and a lot of times you're going to learn them as you go. Now, of course, in the mentorship program, I teach a lot of different terms, a lot of different things that the realtors are going to want to hear. And of course, if you can understand the industry, then you're going to connect more with those realtors. And that is something that I teach. But really, the basics is understanding how to photograph a home with the buyer in mind. Um, Setting your prices. This is a big one for people. A lot of people think, oh, I'm going to get clients by charging less than the competition. And I would highly recommend to not do that, because what's going to happen is your business is going to grow. It is. It absolutely is. If you put the work in, of course. And if your prices are lower than everyone else's, you will price yourself out of the market. You'll be doing a lot of work for a little money, and you're going to get burnt out and be like, I don't want to do this. I'm not happy. So here's how you can be competitive. I'll give you an example. When I first started, I looked at my market. I was just looking to see, you don't want to compare yourself to everybody, but when you want to know what is the market asking for in your particular area, because it's different everywhere. My market at the time, 5 years ago, 10 images, people were charging $99. And I figured, well, I don't want to lower that price. What if I said you could get 15 images for $99? What I'm doing is I'm adding more value to the realtor for that same price. And what I've learned is over time, those properties that only need 10 photos usually need more than 10. So they see value in that. Another example is a lot of real estate photographers charge for blue sky guarantee. So on those cloudy days, they want to have that nice blue sky because it looks much prettier. Most of the real estate photographers in my area were charging $50 for blue sky guarantee. I think it was up to 5 exterior photos. I decided not to charge for it because I use a piece of software that literally takes me under 5 minutes to drop a blue sky in and makes it look realistic. So again, I'm adding value to my clients. And when they compare me to those other real estate photographers, like, oh, Paul is not going to charge me for that. He's not going to nickel and dime me for every single thing. And I don't, because I understand the real estate photography business. And I understand real estate as well, because I know that realtors are getting bombarded by everybody to help them market, to pay for this, to pay for that. And there's so much money that's coming out of their pocket. So if I can help them save money, if I can, I'm not trying to get as much money out of one shoot. I want to get all of their listings, every single one, not just as much out of one listing. I don't look to the end of my nose. I look at the big picture. So when it comes to pricing, please, please, please do not price yourself out of the market and start and be the cheap person, right? Just don't do that. It's not going to serve you in the big picture as your business grows. Another thing, it's not on my list here, but is a portfolio. Of course, you need a portfolio. And a lot of people ask, well, Paul, how do I even build a portfolio if I don't have any clients? Well, here's what I would recommend. What you want to do is you want to photograph your home. First, clean it and organize it like if you were going to sell it or rent it. And you'll be really happy when you do that because your house will look fantastic. And then you photograph your home several times, because one thing you're going to have to learn to do, and this only happens by doing it, is being really effective, being able to get through that home pretty quickly. You don't want to be spending a couple hours in a home because the realtors don't want that and the sellers don't want that. Here's an example. A 25 image home shoot shouldn't take you more than 20 to 30 minutes. Really, it should not. Shooting time, like when you first get to the house, you're going to meet the seller, you're going to meet the realtor, and there's a couple of minutes that you're going to chat and give them your plan of what you're going to do. And then when you leave, it's going to be the same way. Sometimes you have to turn lights on. Sometimes you got to turn lights off. So I'm talking just shooting time. So it takes a little bit of time to get to that, because you're going to question yourself. Oh, how do I shoot this room? Or, oh, wait, I I'm not really sure how I should photograph how the kitchen goes to the living room. Well, of course, that's something I teach you as well. And once you do it, there's a systematic approach that I have where you're going to get in and out of that home quickly so you can save time and make more money, because that's what I'm all about. I'm all about saving time and making more money. And so when you shoot your home that specific way, it's going to make a huge difference. Um, so portfolio, that's shooting your home. Another thing you can do that I recommend is ask some of your friends. Hey, I'm getting into real estate photography. I need a portfolio. Can I photograph your home? A lot of them, if their homes are clean, will say, sure, no problem. You may even know a realtor, or you have a friend that knows a realtor. And then you can ask them, hey, I'm getting into real estate photography. Do you have any vacant properties that I can go photograph? I'll give those images to you if you'd like. And then I can use them. Then you can use them for your portfolio. Now, the third recommendation I'm going to have for you, which I think is the best recommendation, and I wouldn't approach this third one until after you do the first two, so you can at least get some practice of what it's like. The third one is model homes. In any big city, there's going to be new homes, and they always have a model home that's completely staged, and they're beautiful and they're gorgeous and they're great to photograph for your portfolio, because your portfolio looks fantastic. And here's how you approach it. You go during the week, because that's when they're the slowest, and you walk in and say, hi, I'm a real estate photographer and I'm building my portfolio. I was wondering if I could photograph this model home and I will give you the images. Would that be okay? And 99% of the time, they're going to say yes. Now, do not do this on the weekend, because that's when they're doing most of their business. They make money by showing that model home to everybody. If you go during the week, it's going to be slower. And also, you let that salesperson know, hey, look, if somebody comes in to look at this model home, I will step out so I don't interfere or get in your way of doing your job. Plus, you don't want people in that model home when you're photographing it as well. That is a really fantastic way to get some kick-ass images for your portfolio. So that's how you create that portfolio. Marketing yourself. Of course, a business is not a business unless you market it. And this can be one of the biggest challenges for not just photographers, but for most people. But you have to treat your business like a business, and you have to market it like a business. Now, yes, you can market it on social media. I did that. But understand, it takes a long time to build rapport with people on social media. I mean, just think about when someone tries to sell you something on social media. I don't really need to say anything else, but you do want to have a presence. And I do teach that in the mentorship program. But the number one way that I recommend for you to market yourself is to join the local real estate association, because this is a people business. This is a face-to-face business, whether it's with realtors and sellers. If you're not good with people, this might not be the greatest industry for you, because real estate photography, the photography is the easiest part of the entire business. The biggest challenge is, how do you deal with people? How do you communicate with people? How do you deal with the stressful situations that people are going through for selling their homes? You know, you have people that are going through divorces. You got people that have lost a family member. You have people that are moving, all of a sudden having to move, or they lost their job, or there's a new baby, and there's a lot of stress. So you have to know how to deal with people. So what you do is you join the local real estate association, and usually every week they have a free networking meeting. And you go to that meeting every single week. You shake as many palms as possible, you make as many connections as possible, and you build that rapport. And the best way to do this is, when you go to those networking meetings, don't start talking about you. Start asking questions about them and their business. Hey, Mr. or Mrs. Realtor, how's business going for you? How long you been doing this? You know, whatever that time frame may be. Wow, it sounds like you love what you do. What's the thing that you really love about doing real estate? Find out about them. It's like going on a date, You don't go on a date and on the first date say, hey, you want to get married? It doesn't work that way. You got to treat it the same way. You need to build rapport and build relationships, because when you build relationships with some strong people, with some top producers, which you will, the way I'm going to teach you, then you'll only market yourself for a short amount of time in the big picture of things, because then your business grows organically. Because what happens is those realtors, their business grows, their team grows. As that their business grows and their team grows, then your business grows organically, because they love you so much. They know what you do. They know how you do that work. They know how you deliver your images on the same day. And you're a professional and you treat everybody with respect and you're showing your passion, that they are going to just tell their team, hey, just use this person because they're fantastic. Other people in the office, because when realtors get a listing, everyone in that office is going to look at their listing. So then the other realtors in that office are going to say, hey, who do you use for that? And then your business grows organically because they're going to recommend you. So it starts off with going or joining the real estate association in your area and going to every networking meeting. That is the fastest way to build your business while you're still doing on social media, which you'll do during out of office hours, because those association meetings, they only happen, like, usually it's a lunchtime thing or a breakfast thing. So the other time you could be building on social media and reaching out. And I teach you how to do all this in the mentorship program. Speaking of which, so that's really it. That's the basics. That is the foundation of how you build a real estate photography business. Yes, there is a lot more to learn about it, but that is your foundation. And I don't know if you've ever heard the saying, but success likes speed, and successful people will pay for speed. If you want to learn something quickly, you find somebody that's done it, and then you do what they do. A lot of the times, those successful people invest their money and their time to shorten the learning curve so they can be as successful as possible and avoid as many problems as possible. Now, I'd love to help you shorten the learning curve. I do have a mentorship program, realestatephotographymentorship.com, where I teach you everything A to Z on how to build a business, but not just how to build a business, but how to build a business so you don't work late nights, you don't work weekends, you don't spend endless hours behind your computer screen. I teach you the 2-minute 2-minute conversation that you have when you show up to a house, so nobody follows you around the house, nobody's standing over your shoulder. I teach you how you can underpromise and overdeliver so your business does grow organically. I teach you in a way where you can streamline all of the tools that the realtors need, where they're not going to go anywhere else, and your sales average will go from a pretty low price to a high price, and then the realtors are going to buy that every single time for every single property, because the realtors want to have a consistent portfolio. I'll give you an example. My average sale in the beginning was $99 to $129. Now it's anywhere from $250 to $450. So in the beginning, I was doing a lot more work to make the money that I needed to make. I just lost a light. And now I do less shoots. I make more money. I have more time, and I have more balance in my life. So I teach you everything there. And then I do coaching as well, because building a business is not easy. So I want to teach you how to build a business like a business and not a hobby. Because if you treat it like a hobby, you get paid like a hobby. If realtors see that you're doing it just as a hobby, they're not going to hire you because they don't see that you're being a professional. I also teach you how to be a professional in this business, but also how you can be casual and very passionate about what you do. So I love this. I love sharing about real estate photography. I love sharing about how to build a business the right way. You deserve to have the time that you want. You deserve to live the lifestyle that you want. And I like to teach you how to do that. And if you're interested in that, just reach out to me. If you want to talk over the phone, I'll talk to you over the phone. If you want to do a Zoom call, I'll do a Zoom call with you. Get to know me. Go check out all my socials. Go look at all my videos. There's over, I don't know, 950 videos that I've done out there just giving tips to help other people. But what the mentorship program is going to do for you, it's going to shorten your learning curve. And then it's going to be, everything is going to be in one place. Sure, you can learn how to do this business, but you're going to have to search for it on YouTube. And there's going to be so many different hundreds and thousands of videos, and everyone's going to have a different opinion on how they do this. And unfortunately, some photographers out there, they kind of crap on other photographers because they're like, no, that's the wrong way to do it. And that's not right. I know there's all these different techniques out there and they all work. It's just, you got to find what works for you. And I'm going to share with you what works for me. And if you want to adopt it, great. If you don't, that's okay too. If you want to take and have the foundation that I'll give you, and then you want to tweak it later, that's awesome. That'd be fantastic. I just want to help you grow as fast as possible and be super happy in the passion that you have for photography. I want to say thank you so much for your time. I hope I shed some light. I hope I brought some value to you today. And if you have any questions, reach out. Take care. Enjoy yourself.